Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Auburn All the Time. Man, I got my main man here, Mr. Bruce Howard, Mr. Auburn football himself. I gave him that nickname.
Yes, sir.
And look, it's yours truly, Rod Stevens. And look, man, we back. We said that it may be the last episode,
Right.
according to what happened at the game. But hey, Bruce, we won. So how you feel?
Man, I feel great. I feel great just due to the fact that the curse is finally broken.
Yes.
22 years, I think, now.
22.
And it
Long years.
almost could have been 23 except for some good Bo Nix heroics and some halftime adjustments by Derek Mason.
Mhm.
But I feel great.
Yes. Speaking of that, the halftime adjustments, I really want to talk about that. With the defense,
Right.
because Butte was killing us.
Well, basically,
The first drive,
they had
90-something yards, 99 yards.
on 3 catches.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
So this guy was killing us, and but what I want to credit Derek Mason to, and that's the thing. We've seen a trend,
Right.
with all the games, with the exception of maybe the Penn State game, but there was some adjustments in that game as well. But of course, the Georgia State game, we saw a huge adjustment, and this
Right.
game here, we saw another huge adjustment by the defense. Are we crediting that to Derek Mason, or are we giving that the defensive IQ? I mean, what are we doing? I think it's a combination of both.
It's
my
a-
personal opinion.
It's a process of him filling out his personnel.
I got you.
I mean, that's what I think. And he's doing something, probably, I would say, in the second half that we've been calling for all year. Press man coverage.
Press man cook.
I think in order for him to run that press man coverage, he has to be comfortable with the defensive backs he got on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed they played Smoke Monday a little more, or more like a linebacker role.
Mhm.
He was way
Right,
more in the box
right.
this week. And he still got burnt on a trail position on a tight end
Mhm.
before, too. But improvement. But I just think him filling out his personnel and getting more comfortable with the defensive backs that he's playing, and with us getting Jalen Simpson back, that helps out a lot.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
but yeah,
And do you think, just the fact that LSU really couldn't run
Run
the
the
ball, that was a factor as well. But like I said, I gotta give them credit for even the Georgia State game, the adjustments that they made. But overall, man, you said Bo Nix heroics.
Right.
We saw some amazing play. We saw some stuff that probably anybody else that play would have been dead.
right.
Several plays would have been dead.
Right.
And so how do you feel going forward about Bo Nix? I mean, are we giving Bo Nix a run or what?
It's hard to say because every week he can't do that.
That's right.
But for one, he's putting his body in too much jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, you're one hit away. Anything could happen. You can hurt your knee, ankle, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to do so much. But I would say this about him. Really, it's like I got a friend of mine. He's a big Alabama fan, Eric Harrison. He said, I told him today, I said, man, really, Auburn needs 10 more guys like that.
Yep.
Just due to the fact that he's willing to do anything it takes to win. He loves Auburn that much that he would run through a brick wall for him.
Yes.
And we don't have, to me, Auburn don't have enough guys like that. They
Right.
actually need more guys like that. But it's sort of like he plays sort of chaotic. I mean, it's chaos, but it needs to be controlled
Mhm.
chaos. You got to pick and choose your battles when you're going to do that. And it's just a reflection of the offensive line, the ability of it is still not great. I mean, they're doing, it's obviously, I feel like they're getting better coaching, but he's having to make plays. I mean, without him, we do not win that game.
No.
And, I love TJ Finley. He's on the team, and he bailed us out against Georgia State, but he couldn't have won that game for us.
No.
There's no way.
I agree as well. And like we said on the previous show, we was not going to be surprised if Bo Nix started, and actually it was a good move because it ended up well for us. You touched on the offensive line.
Right.
We know we'll get to Georgia here in a few minutes, but offensive line play with the Tank Bigsby situation.
Right.
We're going into the 6th game of the season. Offensive line, I personally feel like they played their best during the Penn State game. Just from my observation, I'm just saying with the exception of the Akron and the Alabama State game. We was expecting them to play that way.
Yeah.
But the Penn State game against that top tier talent, especially a decent defensive line like Penn State,
right.
I felt like they played very well.
Right.
But I still have the questions of, when are we going to get this running game that we should have rolling? Like you said, Bo Nix had to make plays because of the offensive line.
I think a lot of it is due to Tank Bigsby not being 100%. I think he got banged up.
I had those questions too.
He got banged up in the Penn State game. I think he sort of got I would say it's sort of like a hip flexor.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about hip flexor, which you're in the medical field,
yes,
I think the biggest thing is rest. But considering what we got on the schedule and what we're playing, he don't have a chance to get rest.
Don't.
Because it would take, there's no way he don't play against Georgia. The only way, no. I don't, they're just limiting his carries. But I would say this week, though, if there's ever been a game that he'll push through to get more carries, it would obviously be this one. Because we're gonna need all hands on deck for this game. Yeah. But I'll say this, though. Whenever another man is not, performing to the best of his ability, regardless of injury or whatever, there's always an opportunity for somebody else to step up. Mm-hmm. And if you look at who our freshman running back is, I mean, what can I say? I say this about Jarquez Hunter. I mean, I don't want people to think I'm crazy, but he almost reminds me of a smaller, not even in the same ballpark, but a smaller Bo Jackson. If you look at from the waist down, yeah. his legs, his thighs, yeah. and stuff. I mean, everybody's seen the videos. Mm-hmm. So mm-hmm. I'm not saying people think I'm crazy. He's not Bo Jackson, but he's like, to me, it's a smaller version
yeah.
of Bo Jackson.
Yeah. And here's the thing. People said I was crazy last year for right. saying this. Bigsby is not the style of Bo Jackson or whatever, but I said this is what I said. I said right. that he could make the impact like Bo Jackson did on Auburn, coming in as a freshman right. like Bo Jackson did and doing the things that he did. But I agree with you with Jarquez Hunter.
Right.
He is looking for the hole, or he's hitting it, and because of the deficiencies on our offensive line, right. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I right now I'm leaning toward Hunter. You know what I'm saying? And that's no slight against Bigsby because right. we know the talent that he has. But if you're injured,
right.
like you said, that just presents another opportunity. I think we'll end up seeing a season, and it'll probably be next year. We'll probably end up seeing a season like we had with Ronnie Brown and Cadillac. And I think that would be the best fit right. for both of those backs because you can utilize them because one catches a little bit better, one pass protects a little bit better than the other. I.e. Bigsby, I think he pass protects better because Jarquez Hunter is a freshman and you don't pick up on that your freshman year, all the schemes and stuff, or who to pick up when they come back in the backfield. So, yeah, I mean.
Well, basically now, it's at the point now we got Shivers back. We got 3 back.
Yeah, we do.
And they all got 3 different skill sets. Mm-hmm. So we're good to go with that. And yeah. this is I feel good just watching this last game against LSU. We actually threw the ball to the running back out the backfield.
Yeah, but did you think, I didn't mean to cut you off. Did you think that was predictable, though? Every time Shivers came in,
yeah.
we knew the ball was probably going to him.
What needs to happen, teams will key on that. Yeah. That's on tape. Mm-hmm. Just like when they ran the onside kick coming out of halftime, it was a perfect play call.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't. The kicker put a little too right. much on the ball, but it was a perfect play call. But what happens whenever you do stuff like that? It's on film now. Now that's just more they got prepared mm-hmm. for. Just like on the flare pass to the run back out the backfield, what you do, you can play action off that.
Yeah. So
it's just different ways you can utilize that, or it could actually be you can fake it and let Nix keep the ball. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just different variations. But trust me. Georgia's seen that.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about Georgia, too, going into this game, they got linebackers that can keep up with that.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I'm just happy to see utilize the things that we've heard for years that never, came to fruition is mm-hmm. using running backs at the backfield. Because the thing about it, everybody talks about Bo Nix's completion percentage. It's never going to be great because that's not what type of quarterback he is. He's never going to be a 70% completion guy. No. He's a gunslinger.
Yeah. And
what happens is you see a lot of these quarterbacks, numbers look so good because you got if you go through your first read and that tight end or whatever your read is not open, it's easy to drop off to a running back. Because just a lot of times the running back is just sitting there. Nobody's going to really pick him up.
Right.
And for whatever reason, all these years past, we never done that. So really his numbers didn't look great just because of the play call. I mean, and because of the formations. And so now each week I notice something. They're adding a little more.
Yep.
So it's just a progression of the offense, and it's a breath of fresh air knowing now that we got more than 3 or 4 plays.
Yeah.
And that's what gives me hope for the future because we're not so predictable anymore.
Yeah. And before we go any further, we like to take the time to thank everybody for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification button for Auburn all the time. But moving forward, I think we had it was a anticipated good game. You know what I'm saying? Because it was in Death Valley. Just to wrap this up with the LSU game, I saw some good things. And of course, you're going to see some bad things. But overall, I give Auburn a B for the game. They won. We broke the curse. That's all that matters. My prediction for the Auburn score was correct. I want to point that out. I did say they was going to score 24 points if they won the game.
Right.
But anyway, so hopefully some of this can translate over to this powerhouse that we're about to meet up with, and I know we got some comments on this team.
Right.
We can look at all aspects of the game, recruiting. Like we always get to recruiting at some point in this show. So so I'll just let you start us off as what topic we'll discuss first about this monster we're about to face.
Right. This is quick recruiting. I noticed that one of the main guys that Auburn really needs to get on board, he's transferred from Carver out of Montgomery to Pike County, which is Curtis Perry. He's basically, not quite, but he's basically a 5-star defensive end. Mm-hmm. And it looks like, unfortunately for us, he's trending towards Alabama. Mm-hmm. Which, I guess, at the end of the day,
backyard.
I'll say it again, it starts at home. They just go to show you. But I don't really fault Harsin so much the fact that he's having to come in and clean up what was left behind. There was some mess that was left.
That's true.
But it's all about relationships too. But still, that's not a good sign. But I will say this. I'm not trying to steal nobody's info or nothing, but according to some of the stuff I read, that we're actually in position to flip one of Alabama's top commits. Okay. Is Robert Woodyard, a 4-star linebacker from Williamson out of Mobile. That would be, to me, that would actually be a bigger get if we get him instead of us getting Perry. We need Perry, don't get me wrong, but we're graduating 3 linebackers. Mm-hmm. Well, if Papo goes pro, which he probably will.
Right, yeah.
So with that being said, that's actually a bigger get, and I think his cousin is Lee Hunter, the freshman defensive tackle that's redshirt. And I think he's got people in his ear telling him, Auburn, there's an opportunity to play right away. And I know Alabama can sell better than anybody, but the proof is there. You can't lie and say that there's not an opportunity at Auburn. Basically. Right. People got to see that.
Yeah.
So it's going to hurt to lose Perry to Alabama because we need that. We need that pipeline. Mm-hmm. Any of them schools around there, we got to control our backyard. But it happens. You're talking about going against the greatest dynasty of all time, so I can understand that. But hopefully, as this season continues to evolve and we lay the foundation, you'll see a decline in that, and we'll start controlling. The only thing that's really going to control that, though, is wins. Mm-hmm. And you can sit up here and sell the dream, we're going to do this and do that. Well, it's going to be different under this until wins. That's the only thing they care about is winning and how can you get them to the NFL.
Yeah.
And nobody can do that. I hate to say it, nobody can sell that better than Alabama right now. So it's our job to change the narrative because whenever you're dealing with a coaching change and the narrative that went with us you go to Auburn and Gus, he don't develop offensive linemen, he don't develop quarterbacks, he don't develop receivers. Mm-hmm. So and and whenever you have that kind of negativity, it rolls over to the whole program. Oh, yeah. So it's an uphill battle, but I'm hoping there's a time coming, and I think we got young coaches on our coaching staff that's going to flip that narrative. Mm-hmm. It's just going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. But you'll see this weekend, this will probably be other than the Alabama game, you'll see the most 5 4-star recruits for the next couple of recruit classes in town. And even some of them, don't kid yourself, they're going to come there to see Georgia because it's a free ticket.
Yeah, it's a free
But what
ticket.
you want to do, you want to put something on the field because even though that one particular guy is there to see Georgia, you want to give them something to think about.
Right.
So any exposure that you can get, you got to take advantage of that.
Right.
Well, that's, we like I said, we talk about recruiting all the time, but that's just something. That is something to keep in mind, moving forward.
Yeah, well, I mean, we that's what we look at, and this is not just this is a full spectrum show, but it's revolving around Auburn.
It's all about in college football. Don't kid yourself. I would say it's at the point now. I would say 90% recruiting, almost, and it's no coincidence that Georgia and Alabama are the 2 top teams.
Right.
Look at where they
look at the classes that they've signed in the past 5 to 6 years, even more than that.
I'm not a Georgia expert, but some of the guys that's playing for them, I've heard about them and seen them because of recruiting battles. And I would say, based on just not even looking deep into it, I would say all 11 starters on Georgia's defense are going to get drafted. I don't think that's a stretch.
I don't think it is either.
So,
And speaking of that, so what do you think about this Georgia defense? I mean, they averaging 4.6 points a game. They're giving up 4.6 points a game. There go my stat. I studied a little bit.
Put that in to put it in the easiest form possible, I would say this: in 5 games, they're giving up 1 touchdown.
1.
That's it. So
that's man. You talking about a pro defense, man?
Right.
This is and to lead them. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about Jordan Davis. I mean, which is a man among children.
I've already said my prayer for Nick Brahms this season. But not only him, the guards too.
Yeah, I
gotta say a prayer for all of them.
But if you think about, look at that whole front 7. Man. I mean, but here's the thing.
Right.
This dude, man, this defense, oh my God. Have y'all seen this guy, man? This is crazy. He should not be running that fast, man.
Well, then the other, I guess he's the strong side defensive end, Carter.
Yes.
That's not even counting the linebackers.
It's not.
Tyndall, Nolan Smith. You got Lewis Seen in the secondary. You got Tyke Smith, the transfer from West Virginia. I don't know much about their corners because they ain't been tested. So we don't know.
Yeah.
So we don't know, but don't kid yourself. Some of their numbers are great. Don't get me wrong. They haven't been tested.
Yeah.
Because we know, and we now see it's a product of the system, but we also see Clemson's not where they normally are.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt, I think your son's team could beat them.
You think so?
It'd be close.
It's Pee-wee football.
Well, it'd be close. But yeah, have they been tested? I would say Arkansas, yes, to a certain extent, but their quarterback was injured. Not to make no excuses, but don't kid yourself. Arkansas is a great story, but I would say talent-wise, Auburn's a good bit ahead of them, just from a talent standpoint. And it's a good story, but Georgia has not been challenged.
Yeah, and like you said last week, they bought into what the coaches said.
Oh yeah, that's part of it.
And that makes a
slowly
whole
but
lot.
Surely you can sort of see Auburn going that direction too.
Yeah.
So that's what you want. You want your team to take on the identity of the head coach. And unfortunately for us, Georgia has too, because Kirby is Kirby.
Yeah.
He's a cheerleader.
Yeah.
He's not even a coach. I think the guys play for him because of who he is, but still, he's not really. I wouldn't consider him a great head coach by any means. But he knows defense, and that's what he's built his team around.
Kirby, I feel like Kirby is going to be defined as. I think he will be defined. I think he will submit his legacy once he wins that championship. Once he gets over that hump, he's just defined as a great Nick Saban assistant right now.
Yeah, that's a great that knows the prowess of recruiting and what it takes to get the player. Right. Because he's known as his coaching career, every year he'll lose a game that he shouldn't. And to this point, in order to be, they call him King or whatever they call him Kirby, in order to be the king, he's got to beat his king.
Yeah.
And he hasn't done it. He's had opportunities, And I would say the team they got this year, this is, I would think, not just from an offensive standpoint, I don't think from an offensive standpoint, but the overall body of work, if you count in the defense, whatever, this is his best team, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, there is a way for Auburn to beat Georgia. It's going to take an unbelievable effort. But to say they're unbeatable, I don't believe that by any means.
I don't think they're unbeatable.
Right.
Because just like you said, I think we said this on one of the first shows or something that Kirby Smart is due to lay an egg somewhere. Right. Going into Jordan Hare, it's going to be difficult to play there. And I feel like, but we'll get to the predictions or whatever in a little while. But like I said, they're not unbeatable. Right. But it's gonna take some coaching. Right. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they find something on film that they can use or utilize to their advantage.
Right.
I think on our side defensively, right. I think we can hang with them.
They're not going to run up and down the field.
Right.
I don't think.
I don't think that's going to happen.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't know. They're being pretty close to the vest with this JT Daniels injury.
I don't think it's playing.
I don't think it's playing. And I'll be honest with you, not to hate on the guy, Stetson Bennett don't scare me. I mean, I think he's your typical game manager.
Right.
And he's actually a little dangerous because he can make some plays with his legs, but he don't scare me. I mean, that's just me. I mean, if he's not, I mean, people, you know, us Auburn fans, we have our feelings about Bo Nix, and that's fine. But he's no Bo Nix. Bo Nix is way above him. Not hating on the guy. I mean, I respect him actually, but he don't scare me.
Right.
That's the thing about it. Now, he gets a lot of his action off what they do up front in the running game. He feeds off of that.
Right.
But it's not him making the plays.
And that's, you know, that's scary enough, but I mean, it's not, like you said, it's nothing that, you know, because, I mean, I saw him make some great throws.
Well, he actually tore us up last year. Because, for one, he had 10 seconds to throw the ball. So hopefully that won't be the case this year.
And that's another thing, man. I just hope we don't get in that situation where we,
let's Derek Mason, let's not do what Arkansas did. They say that, can you believe, which I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just naive. Arkansas stayed in a 3-man front.
You can't do that.
I mean, at some point.
Did. Ole Miss did too.
So, I apologize. I was both wrong on both predictions from a score standpoint. I knew they was going to both lose, but I thought they'd be closer. So.
I already knew.
Yeah.
That, I mean, Nick Saban got a whole year to watch a film, and he probably circled that on his calendar.
Yeah.
Because that was the best game that anybody played against them last year anyway.
Right.
But this ain't Alabama show. So we're talking about Georgia.
Right.
So yeah, back to Stetson Bennett. I mean, nobody's put any pressure on him. I mean, so
no.
And can we do that?
I would venture to say that just looking at the guy, he's 5'11", whatever. I would say he don't have an elite arm by any means. But I'll tell you this about Georgia too. We actually catch them, I guess, at a good time because Pickens, if he actually comes back, he's not bad.
He's not bad.
And other than, I guess, Jackson, he's running his mouth all week. But with that being said, he don't skip. They got Burton. They got Darnell Washington, the freshman. Well, not the freshman, but the 5-star tight end coming back. If he's really, I don't know how healthy he is. But I would say their tight ends will probably be a more factor than the receivers because the tape is out on Auburn. They do struggle covering the tight end because this day and time you don't see a lot of 2 tight end sets anymore. Anyway, but anyway, they struggled in that department. And plus, I mean, we love Smoke Monday. We talked about it, but he struggles in coverage.
We love it.
So, but he's not necessarily like to cover the receivers. So if you look at our top defensive back cornerbacks, McCreary, Pritchard, and now Simpson, we're in great shape there.
And I was very, very pleased with Pritchard. This past week. That was a breath of fresh air.
3-star recruit.
Yeah. There we go. Back to recruiting. It's all about what you make of it.
Yeah. Roger McCreary. Well, you know.
We know about that.
We know the story.
But anyway, so we've talked about Georgia defensively and offensively. So I guess we'll move to Auburn defensively. we've seen a lot of 3-man fronts at times, but we know we're pretty good against the run. And we feel like Georgia is probably going to try to pound the ball, depending upon which quarterback plays. But we both feel that Stetson Bennett will start. With that being said, can we rattle him enough and stop the run with how we've been playing these past 5 games?
The environment's going to help us.
I feel that.
Playing at home is going to help us.
Mm-hmm.
I think what you can't do against Georgia, if I was Auburn, if I won the coin toss, I want the ball first.
Okay.
Because if any way possible, I don't care if it's a field goal, you better serve, you got to play ahead against them. Because if you get behind, I don't think, if you get so far behind, I would say 7 points behind, you're in trouble. Because what they're going to do then, they're going to methodically run the ball. And you're not going to get, I would say against Georgia, you're not going to get that many possessions anyway. They're going to slow the ball down. They're going to slow the game down and play it. They're going to play it their style. They're the closest thing I've seen this year to an old school team, physical on both sides of the line of scrimmage. But I tell people in any game that Auburn plays, we have a chance now because who the head coach is, and Gus is not there no more.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives me hope knowing that Gus is not on the sideline because Kirby had every tendency, had everything that Gus ever ran. He had it down pat. So it was a mismatch from the beginning when we played them under Gus.
Well, you and I had everything that Gus would run down pat. So, but with that being said, no slight against Gus. I still like Gus. I love you, Gus. But we would be 2-3 right now.
Sorry, Central Florida fans, y'all get a little taste this year of what we've been tasting for 7 or 8 years. Sorry.
We would be 2-3 right now. If Gus called those games. Gus would have never made the call to put TJ Finley in the Georgia State game. But anyway, my thing is, I think the line of scrimmage is going to tell us a lot about this game. Just right off the bat, like you said, we've got to get on the board first. We got to hold serve. Even if we don't take the ball, they get a field goal, we need to get 7. You know what I'm saying? And that's just it. They need to play from behind at all times.
Do you think? I mean, I think they've only given up a little over 20 points on the whole season. How many points can you think? How is it even possible for Auburn to get into 20s against them? Do you think? Do you see it any way possible?
It's possible.
With help from the defense, I would imagine.
Yes.
Special teams.
It's possible.
Right.
Because I feel like, if we got a sure kicker.
Yeah.
And if we could put at least 2 touchdowns on the board and just get in field goal range, because he can kick a 50. He easily kicks 50s. You know what I'm saying? So we get around that range and we can kick the ball as well. If he put us up 12 points or. Like he did in the Georgia State game. He had 5 field goals, missed 1, 4 or 5.
Right.
But it don't get me wrong now, it would be difficult, but we got to take in consideration. This is a rival game.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be a game that I feel like the players will be up for.
Right.
There's gonna be a lot of stuff that we're gonna see that that hadn't been really seen in these other games. There's going to be a hype behind this game for the players, and so they're going to be, if the least thing I can say, they're going to be ready to play, or they're going to be excited to play, and I think that's going to show on the field. And I think, adrenaline can get you some places, and sometimes it can get you in trouble. Right. But I feel like in this case. I feel like the adrenaline is gonna help, for a little while. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what we need. We need to kind of like that year that we played Alabama. I think it was 08 or 09, I think it was 09. And we was up, for most of the game. We was the underdog. We was clearly the underdog.
Right.
And but they ended up taking it from us or whatever. But
I remember that.
But we was counted out, but we came out playing hard. You know what I'm saying? And hit them in the mouth. And that's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to hit this team in the mouth. Yeah. And just take advantage of everything that we can take advantage of.
I got family that's Georgia fans. Mm-hmm. Okay. This is what happened last year. I know that was last year. this is what was said to me by some recruits that was in the locker room before Auburn played Georgia. Kirby Smart, he gathered, had to do the pregame speech or whatever. Mm-hmm. He had the team in the locker room. He pretty much told the team, all we got to do is when we go out there and play them, if we just hit them in the mouth, they'll lay down. And that's what he told the team. And that's what all the recruits seen that was in there too.
Yeah.
And so, not saying that's motivation for this year, but as a player, and you don't kid yourself. There's guys. Auburn has a lot of guys on their team from Georgia. They know all these guys. Oh, yeah. And you don't think they know that?
Oh yeah.
And you don't think that's gotten out?
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I mean, nobody. Don't kid yourself. Nobody's giving us a chance to win.
Oh no,
there ain't no way.
No.
I mean, not against these guys. With that being said, though, there's a way. There's a way for us to beat Georgia. It's gonna take almost a perfect scenario, but it's happened before. But I tell you a key to look out for. I know it's a thing about Derek Mason. I like what he's doing, but he's a little slow on his adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
Last week he waited to halftime.
Yeah.
This week you can't do that.
Can't do that.
I don't know if we'll come. I sure to God we won't come out with a 3-man front.
Oh,
I would think surely God 7-8 men in the box. But even if he don't, whatever adjustments he needs to make, let's not wait to. I would say you need to make them adjustments at the first drive. Once you see how they line up, because same thing for offense too. So it's all about adjustments, and because until you actually get out there and on the field with these guys, you're truly not going to see what they're like until you go up against them.
Yeah.
Because you can't simulate what they got in practice, because we don't have what they got to simulate in practice. Because it's a filling out process.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing, like I said, if any way possible, let's get the ball first. Let's go down and attempt to score. I would say Rumbo more, but you got to be controlled chaos with him. You got to control it. Bootlegs, give him a run pass option. You just can't sit there and say, you're going to pound, just constantly run that ball in a brick wall. You're going to have to move. You got to get them linebackers and stuff moving at some point to free up some of that stuff. Because I would say this, not necessarily the run game. Auburn, I would give them an A+. If they can get, I would say this, 75, 80 yards rushing on them a bit. Where you're going to get them at is downfield. At some point, them corners haven't been tested. I noticed Arkansas, they missed some. Arkansas actually, if you look at the tape, Arkansas actually had some guys running open against them. The quarterback didn't see it or couldn't get them the ball pressure, whatever. That's how you beat them. I think I don't see anybody. I don't care who you are. You consistently run the ball on them. I don't see it. There's NFL teams that couldn't run the ball consistently on them.
Right.
You're gonna have to hit them up top to loosen that defense up. That's other than special teams and the defense calls and turnovers. That's the only recipe I see for success. You gotta hit them some up top. Not every play, but you gotta let them know that the threat is out there.
Yeah. So. And you touched on making the adjustments early. Like I said, I touched on it earlier. I feel like coaching is going to play a huge part because, like the great Rick Neuhauser say, the Jimmys and Joes are better on their side, and we know that it's going to be an X's and O's game. And here's my thing is, if you make the adjustments, you make the proper adjustment, and the Jimmys and Joes beat us, I feel better. I can live with that, in regards to that. So, I guess we've come down to it. We've talked, a little bit about, both teams as to what we could possibly expect and what we would like to see. I still harp on it. Which, like you said, it's going to be very difficult to run on this team, but I still feel like the 1-2 punch is there with Biggs being Hunter. And hopefully we'll get Papo back.
Yeah.
So that'll give us a boost on defense as well. But like we said, we've seen Simpson and Pritchard. We've named a few guys that have stepped up on the defensive side as well in the absence of some of these guys. Yeah. But I guess we've come down to it. Bruce, you kind of alluded to what it's gonna take to beat Georgia. What's your final analysis and prediction?
Final analysis. This will be the hardest game for Georgia all year regular season.
Okay.
I really truly believe that. I think the atmosphere is perfect for what it needs to be. The atmosphere is going to be there. The crowd's going to be there. Mm-hmm. It's up to Auburn to capitalize on that.
I got you.
I don't know. I mean, I can't. I'll never be a homer. I might lose some likes or whatever, but I'm a realist though, and I call like I said, there is a path for Auburn to have a victory. Mm-hmm. I don't personally see it, but I want to see it. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, I'm gonna say 28-17 Georgia.
Okay.
I think Auburn. I definitely think Auburn covers the point spread though. Either way.
Okay.
And they won't get them 28 points. The way they'll get them 28 points, the only way I see them getting them 28 points, I don't think they'll get 28 points on our defense. I think our offense will be put in some positions where they'll have to try to, manage to get back in the game, make some plays. You'll probably get a couple of turnovers this game. I can easily see that. But I think Auburn covers the points for sure. I think they cover 14.5, 15.5. But I'll go 28-17. But if Auburn forces turnovers, get the ball to bounce away, special teams score. I can see Auburn. If Auburn wins, I can see it being something like 24-21, something like that. Okay. I just don't see, but I don't see Georgia running away with this game. Right. I think this is going to be their toughest regular season game. The environment's going to be right. Like I said, it's up to Auburn to capitalize on the environment.
Gotcha. Well, I agree for the most part of it. And like I said, I'm a realist too. I have a slightly different score. Okay. And I just honestly believe that Auburn is going to come out and play with some more grit. And we're at home, and like you said, the atmosphere is going to play a major role. Right. But I got the game being 21-13 Georgia. Okay. I mean, we both realists. Hopefully it's flip flop. But I see Auburn, scoring a touchdown, an offensive touchdown. I just call me crazy. I just feel like they will score an offensive touchdown.
I agree.
Things may go if we can get some turnovers. And Derek Mason make the adjustments quicker. Right. And Bobo, sees something that we can exploit the defense or something like that. Then maybe it's a different ball game. Hopefully, we'll come back on the next show talking about something different about this game. But that's our picks. So you know how I am. You got some crazy stat for
not this week. I mean, it is what it. But like I said, they've given up one touchdown all year, and that was in the fourth quarter against South Carolina when they had, I guess, third and fourth string game. Yeah, that speaks for itself. I mean, you can sit up here and look at the numbers. Like I said, I don't care if they was playing Jacksonville State, Gaston City every week. Right. That's impressive. I mean, you have to give credit where credit's due.
It's impressive.
Just like, we look good at certain times this year against certain competition. Mm-hmm. They have too. Just like, we felt good about certain things we've done. I know they got a lot to feel good about. Yeah. I can see that. So,
and I'm going to say this is a game to the Auburn players, man. Leave it all out on the field this time. And I believe that's what they'll do. Yeah. I think everybody's going to
I think the blueprint will be set. We'll actually do a favor for the other teams, if that makes sense. I think we'll have a recipe for success against Georgia this weekend that will actually show teams what you got to do to have success against them. Yeah. If that makes sense. Yeah. And I hate to say it, that's actually going to help Alabama out because Alabama actually gets to see us and them, two teams they got to play down the road. Yeah. Everything they need to see this week. Everything, because trust me, they're not getting challenged this weekend. Oh, no. I don't think. No. That's either here or there. But, man, we appreciate it. We look forward to connecting with y'all guys again. Until then, War Eagle.
War Eagle.